Hey everyone, as most of you who've watched for a while are aware, every 3 months I have to go for a jab at the doctors, and today was that day, which is always weird. It's always good at the beginning because I have a slight lie-in. I always get woken up by Claire going, Rich, it's like 8 o'clock, you should have gone to work by now. And I'm like, nah, it's doctor day. And she goes, oh, sorry, and then that's my alarm clock. If she stops doing that and assumes I know what's going on, then I'm screwed. But I go into the doctor's and I have to wait, and then it starts becoming an absolutely dreadful scenario where I'm just anticipating every name. Is that me? Is that me? And I start to build it up in my head. But today, I think they called me in pretty much instantly. When I went in there, my name just came up on the screen. This is going to sound really dumb, but I do get confused seeing my name and not like Sheepdog or my surname on its own. I'm still not really, no one calls me by my actual name, not even Claire. She just calls me whatever nickname comes to mind first for her. But yeah, it didn't come up Sheepdog, it came up my name, and I was just like, oh, that's me, that's quick. Went in there. They're just like, right, over the bed, jab you, off you go. But this time they were just chatting away and I'm like, can we just get this done, please? They asked me if I wanted my flu jab, and I thought, you've really got me over a barrel, because they asked me last time and I said no because I had lots of stuff coming up and I didn't want to be ill. I'm trying to think what it was. There was something in October and there was something in July. I think July was MGPX, but October I have no idea other than Ollie's birthday. I was probably just copping out of it. But I basically said, yeah, go on, I've got nothing coming up. You might as well give me the jab now. I said to them, I don't want to be ill though. Is this going to make me ill? And they're like, it's impossible for this to make you ill. I said, but I know people who got ill from taking it. And they're like, no, they were probably already building up to a flu. It takes 10 days for this to work apparently. So if I get the flu in the next 10 days, it's because I already had it. If it doesn't happen, it cured me. So whatever. So I said I'd do that. Then I had the awkwardness of, basically I have to go in there and drop my trousers so she can inject me. So that was odd. That was always uncomfortable, meeting a random stranger and dropping my trousers. I can't say the famous man I was going to say there. A, it's not the 80s, and B, I don't know if that's bad. But you probably know where I was going. So then I weighed myself, like I said I would yesterday. The same weight I was last time I went in there. So that's just the same. I'm Mr. Consistent, happy with that, staying the same weight. Part of me thinks maybe if I tweaked a few bits of what I ate, like we keep eating. I think I mentioned these before. Co-op salt and vinegar crisps are insane. They're so good. I bought a bag for Claire earlier because she had a rough day and I wanted to cheer her up. I'm going to eat them after the vlog. And stuff like that probably needs to be cut out. But it's too good. I'd rather eat them and be unhealthy and not live as long than live a life without them. I think that I'm going on record as saying that. So anyway, I was happy with that. She said I could go straight in for the other jab. Again, took me by surprise. I was expecting them to book me in for it later on, but she's like, no, you can go and do it now. Literally go sit out there. They'll call you back in. So I went out and I thought, oh my God, now I've got to sit for my name again. The exact thing I've been dreading. I've got to go in and wait for it. This is going to be horrific. My colleague had told me how she had a lump on her arm from where hers was, and it was really painful and really uncomfortable, and she felt ill and was convinced it had made her sick and all of this. And so I went in there after they called me like within 5 minutes. Again, it was like, oh, that's my name. I need to go. I was, again, waiting for Sheepdog, and it wasn't that. And so I wandered in. She's like, you need to get your arm out. And I thought, well, I'm wearing a shirt. I can't get my arm out. She's like, just try and pop it out. Ended up shirtless. So I thought, right, I've been in one room with my trousers off, another room with my top off. Like, this is outrageous. She's talking to me, and she said, which arm do you want it in? I was like, well, left arm, because I'm right-handed. I don't want to have to deal with all the having a painful right arm while I'm trying to use it for writing and stuff. And she was like, right, okay. So she just takes my arm and she's like, you might feel something when I do it, blah, blah, blah. She's chatting away. And I sort of just looked and she'd finished. And I was like, where, what? I didn't feel anything. Like, what? And she said, yeah, it's tiny. The needle's ridiculously small. You won't have any kind of, like, I was like, I can't even see the dot where it went in. Like, I've got red dots on my arm just from, like, I don't know what they are, blood vessels or something that are just red. Like, and there's nothing there. And she was like, you shouldn't feel anything. You shouldn't feel ill at all. But if you do, like, just take it easy, but you'll be fine. And yeah, no signs at all. I got to work, record time. I made a lot of mini mistakes today. I told the nurse before with the jab that the last time I had it, it really hurt my back. Did they catch a nerve? Apparently, there's no nerves in your butt cheeks. That's why they do it there, so they can't hit a nerve. It's impossible. The circle they do the jabs in don't have nerves in them. So I was just like, well, that's me snookered. I really thought that was the cause of my agonising back pain for the past 3 months. But no, apparently not. Can't get ill from the flu vaccination, so that was me done again. On my way in, I thought, I've got a very small smidgen of time I can get away with burning here. I'm going to take a punt on this route being quicker to work. So I just took a left where normally I would go forward, thinking, ooh, this feels right. I'm on it. I was right. It is a quicker route. I'm going to take it from now on. But as I was going along, I think I was doing 60 in a 60. I went over a mild bump, expecting to just go over it like that. And I went over it like that. And my car is quite heavy. It landed with quite a bang. So I keep meaning to check it. I haven't checked it. I'm worried that I've snapped it in half or something and it's just all barely holding together. But man, did that car land quick and with a bang, and it just didn't feel right after that. It's not as good as the Hollywood films. I didn't bounce and then carry on going. I wouldn't drive over one of those bridges as they're closing, put it that way. So yeah, I was a bit shocked by that. When I got in, by the time I got in, I don't feel anything from my injections was suddenly searing, agonising, stinging down my back, which again, they're insisting can't be because of the jab. I reckon it's a little bit to do with it just them maybe injecting a vial of stuff into me just expands the area or something. I'm guessing there's got to be some sort of justification because it's been stinging me all day now. And obviously I work in an office, so I've been sat down all day. So yeah, never heard about that all day because I've just been uncomfortable and I've been getting up and going, oh, ugh. Now, I always worry about how it'll affect me. And when I got in, not to go into too much detail, I got in and discovered that one of my colleagues, who I really, really respect, has handed his notice in and is leaving. And I was really, really gutted. To be honest, I was fuming at the moment I read it. And I think it was because I just had this jab. Because I was genuinely red flag to a bull, but was trying to keep it quiet and just this is outrageous. I can't believe this has happened. What on earth? And it was just silly because it wasn't like I was going to say, don't go. And they go, oh, okay, I won't. They just been offered a good opportunity sort of thing. I was just like, no, I can't believe we're losing these people. This is brilliant, brilliant for them, but terrible for me and us and blah, blah, and was really in my head just all popping and that. And, yeah, I thought, oh God, I'm sure it's this jab. I'm sure it's really just set me from 0 to 100 in terms of how I feel, and I'm just coping with that. My next jab is the day before I go away with my mates. So I was like, I really don't want to be dealing with this when I go into a big house with 8 blokes who are all very fiery people like me, and we'd all if I go in there like a bear with a sore thumb, is that the word? Whatever the coin of phrase is. If I go in like that, sore tooth, then they're all going to bounce off that and we're going to be angry as hell. So I was nervous then. I was starting to worry. I think it just sends me off on a worry kind of spiral. But I kept my head down, which for me is quite difficult. I always end up putting my foot in it, but at this time I kept my head down, I think. I had a couple of minor rants about silly things to colleagues that I'm friends with about other things, nothing to do with work, just to get it off my chest. And then it kind of subsided and I'm thinking, okay, I think I'm through that now. But yeah, my whole day has just been trying to cope with that and whatever. This is completely left field. The rest of the day was fine, to be honest. I'm worried the next few days won't be, because it could go up and down. I've been happy, been okay. I did learn something though, going along the theme of me being wrong. We got all this kerfuffle with with tea bags being plastic. Lots of people have said they're going to lose tea. So my colleague brought a teapot that you can put loose tea in that we're going to start drinking from. We were jokingly going to say we're going to start our own tea club. And today the teapot arrived, we had some loose tea. 2 things I did wrong. The tea was called Royal Brew Tea, and I Googled how to drink royal tea, thinking that it would just tell me that you drank it black or you drank it white. We were going to follow the instructions, we were going to do it properly. So my colleague's making it in the other room, and I'm going, you have to pour the leaves into the thing, you have to pour the water in, you have to do it, the tea first, then the milk. And then I'm like, you have to stir it left to right, not in circles. You have to not touch the sides of the cup. And as I'm reading through it, I'm like, this is nonsense. When I got to the bottom of the article, it was basically how Queen Elizabeth likes her tea. Apparently that's how you make tea if you're a member of the royal family. And I'd been shouting these instructions across the office to my colleague when I realised my mistake. She come to the door and she was like, "Are we having milk with it or not? Answer the question." So I had to go and find out what the blend was. We were then talking about whether we drink it at home. And I said, we do have loose tea at home. But what I don't like is that when I use the tea strainer, the tea is really weak. And they're all looking at me like, what are you on about? And I said, well, I put it in here. And then I pour the water through. And then I sit it on top of the cup, and I'm like, the water's barely touching it. And I'm like wiggling it about. And then when I put it to one side and I put the milk in, it's basically just see-through milky water. And they were looking at me like, what is wrong? What? And I'm like, I don't know if I'm just doing it wrong or what, but I said, I've been filling it to the absolute top so that the water's going into this bit. And I've been just jiggling it about, and it gets a bit better. But I said, I don't, like, surely there's a better way people could be doing this. That's why the teapot with the strainer in it is better. And they're all like, you're supposed to put the leaves in the pot and then pour it through that once it's brewed. Once it gets to a certain point, you then filter out all the bad stuff through this. And I was just in disbelief. Just stared at them like, I've been using this at my house on and off for, I mean, we've had this at least 10 years. I've had this since Claire and I were it's actually split. It's so worn from use. And that was annoying because the tea leaves would always go through that and into the cup. So I'd be drinking a blooming cup of tea with tea leaves falling into it because of the hole in the side of it. But apparently I've been doing it wrong all this time. And by that point I was like, I need to just go home and go to bed. I'm all over the shop. I've lost it. I've lost my marbles. So yeah, the rest of the day was fine. I did get asked whether we'd had any news back on a deal. I convinced everyone that we hadn't won the deal, we hadn't been successful. And then as I was writing an apology to someone because I hadn't told them about it and I thought I had, realised that I was looking at a completely wrong thing. And I convinced everyone we'd lost this quite major deal we spent a lot of time on. And actually I was just reading the wrong message and we haven't heard back from the other one yet. And I was just like, again, need to stop, need to go home. I'm feeling a lot better now. I feel a lot happier, a lot smoother, a lot more in control. I came in and I went out with Ollie's Pokemon account and did a couple of raids. I'm very gutted to say I told Claire I'd be out for 20 minutes while I did 2 raids. On raid 1 we got nothing. On raid 2 Oliver's account got a shiny. Wasn't going to let that slide, so I did another 3 raids. I came back thinking that Claire and the kids will have eaten all their dinner. The kids had eaten, but Claire was waiting for me to bring cheese home so she could cook our dinner. So bless her, she had to wait an extra like 45 minutes for dinner because I had no idea. I thought she was going to eat cold food. She hadn't actually told me this, but bless her. I came back and was like, sorry. Ollie, I got him yesterday and Ollie had told me he'd basically completed Pokemon Sword. He'd done all the gyms, so I spent all last night catching up with him. And then once I caught up with him and I still had like an hour left, I spent another hour just hatching eggs, running around hatching eggs for him. So today I was all excited thinking he'd be delighted that I've got him 6 baby Pokemon that he can just have. Doesn't have to do any of the effort that I had to go through last night, making them, breeding them, hatching the eggs. You have to go up and down this bloody stretch of thing. Took me, honestly, ages. And he just went, all right, cool. And I was just like... I've learned, though, he's very much just I want the strong ones and I'm going to smash my way through everything. I think I've caught 230, I think there's 230 Pokemon, let's say, and he's got 110. So, yeah, it's just, he's catching the ones he can be bothered with, bless him. But I keep saying to him, the whole point is you do more. Hang on a minute, he's coming in. He wanted to know when I was finishing the vlog, and because I was rabbiting about Pokemon, I think now is a good time to finish. He did also say he's happy with the ones I caught for him, because I think he heard me say that, bless him. But he just made me laugh because he was like, oh, okay. He was watching Captain Underpants, to be fair to him, and he loves that, so I was interrupting him when I told him, which is probably not a good time. Things for him at school going really well at the moment, from what I understand. We've not had any kind of complaints or anything. He said that he's stopped bossing his friend around, although his friend now tells him what to do a lot. And I was like, that's probably fair. He probably owes his friend a little bit of leeway, but don't let that get out of hand. He seems happy. He got a new bag today, a Gengar bag, the Pokemon Ghost Pokemon. It glows in the dark. I don't know when a school kid gets to have their bag in a dark room because they go to school in the day, but he was excited to see that in the dark the face lights up, so it's just a grinning face. I feel like that's going to freak him out if he has that in the dark because he's afraid of ghosts, but they don't exist. I keep telling him that. Anyway, that is your lot. I hope you're all well. Let me know how your day's going. It's Wednesday. I can't believe that. This week's gone really quick. And I'm looking forward to the week. Well, I am looking forward to the weekend because I get a slight lie-in. But I'm also dreading the weekend because Emily's got 3 friends staying around. So having 4 11-year-olds running around our house eating lots of sweets because Emily's been stockpiling sweets. I'm hoping I can just get them to go to the park and then get them in, feed them pizza, then send them upstairs to watch films and stuff in a room. With music or whatever, but we'll see. With the last sleepover they all went to together, the mum was so fed up with them all, but she had like 8 of them, that she ended up just moving them all apart and having fights with them. So I'm hoping we can control them better than that. But I've basically told Emily that I will embarrass her. I've asked her, I'm setting agreements with her that I'm just going to start walking around the house like a chicken, dancing and stuff, and yeah, whatever it takes to control them. Anyway, thank you for watching. Hope you're all well. Let me know any things like this where you thought something was how you did something and it turned out you were absolutely wrong. I embarrassed myself in front of like 4 or 5 very clever colleagues of mine who would never let something that stupid happen to them. Just let me know how you're getting on. Usual stuff. I always like reading your stories. Let me know how your week's going. So cool. Cheers. See you tomorrow.